The book of Judith, chapter 5. Achior in the Assyrian war council. It was reported to Holofernes, the ranking general of the Assyrian forces, that the Israelites were ready for battle, had blocked the mountain passes, fortified the high hilltops, and placed roadblocks in the plains. In great anger, he summoned all the rulers of Moab, the governors of Ammon, and all the satraps of the coastland, and said to them, "Now tell me, you Canaanites, what sort of people is this that lives in the hill country? Which cities do they inhabit? How large is their force? In what does their power and strength consist? Who has set himself up as their king and the leader of their army? Why have they alone, of all of the inhabitants of the west, refused to come out to meet me?" Then Achior, the leader of all of the Ammonites, said to him, "My lord, please listen to a report from your servant. I will tell you the truth about this people that lives in the hill countries near here. No lie shall escape your servant's lips. These people are descendants of the Chaldeans. They formerly lived in Mesopotamia, for they did not wish to follow the gods of their ancestors who were in the land of the Chaldeans. Since they abandoned the way of their ancestors and worshipped the God of heaven, the God whom they had come to know, their ancestors expelled them from the presence of their gods. So they fled to Mesopotamia and lived there a long time. Their God told them to leave the place where they were living and go to the land of Canaan. Here they settled and grew very rich in gold, silver, and a great abundance of livestock. Later, when famine had gripped the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt. They stayed there as long as they found sustenance, and there they grew in such a great multitude that the number of their people could not be counted. The king of Egypt, however, rose up against them and shrewdly forced them to labor at brickmaking. They were oppressed and made into slaves, but they cried to their God, and he struck the whole land of Egypt with plagues, for which there was no remedy. So the Egyptians drove them out. Then God dried up the Red Sea before them and led them along the route to Sinai and Kadesh Barnea. They drove out all of the inhabitants of the wilderness and settled in the land of the Amorites. By their strength they destroyed all the Heshbonites, crossed the Jordan, and took possession of all the hill country. They drove out before them the Canaanites, the Perizzites, and the Jebusites, the Shechemites, and all the Girgashites, and they lived there a long time. As long as the Israelites did not sin in the sight of their God, they prospered, for their God, who hates wickedness, was with them. But when they abandoned the way he had prescribed for them, they were utterly destroyed by frequent wars and finally taken as captives in foreign lands. The temple of their God was razed to the ground, and their cities were accompanied by their enemies. But now they have returned to their God, and they have come back from the diaspora where they were scattered. They have reclaimed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and have settled again in the hill country because it was unoccupied. So now, my master and Lord, if these people are inadvertently at fault, or if they are sinning against their God, and if we verify this offense of theirs, then we will be able to go up and conquer them. But if they are not a guilty nation, then let my Lord keep his distance. Otherwise the Lord and God will shield them, and we will be mocked in the eyes of all the earth. Now when Achior had finished saying these things, all the people standing around about the tent murmured, and the officers of Holofernes and all the inhabitants of the seacoast and of Moab alike said, "He should be cut to pieces. We are not afraid of the Israelites," they said, "for they are a powerless people, incapable of a strong defense. Therefore let us attack, Master Holofernes. They will become fodder for your great army." God bless you.